Picture this, October 1962. For 13 days, the world holds its breath, teetering on the very edge of nuclear annihilation. Two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union, are locked in a tense standoff. Missiles are armed, fingers are on buttons, and the fate of humanity hangs by a thread. And what is that thread? A single, fragile wire lying at the bottom of the vast, dark Atlantic Ocean. This was the hotline, the only direct link between the White House and the Kremlin. But how did it get there, and who kept it safe? This is the story you've never been told. The story of a secret mission, a silent war fought in the crushing depths, and the unsung heroes who wired our world. This wasn't a mission for battleships or aircraft carriers, and it was a job for a ghost fleet, a clandestine group of ships known only by their designation, USNS A to T class. On board were men who were part sailor, part engineer, part spy. They were the cable men. Their task sounded simple, but it was a monumental feat of engineering to lay a delicate copper nerve center, the world's most important telephone line, across thousands of miles of ocean floor. They had to lower this cable through miles of pitch-black, freezing water where the pressure is immense enough to crush a submarine like a soda can. It was a gamble against nature, a high-wire act performed in the deepest, darkest place on Earth. Imagine the precision required. One wrong move, one kink in the line, and the cable would snap. A single break meant disaster. It would trigger a months-long multi-million-dollar repair operation. Think about that for a second. Finding a lost cable, no thicker than your wrist, in an area the size of a continent, all in total darkness, miles beneath the surface. It was like trying to find a single needle in an endless black haystack. The pressure on these men was immense, not just from the ocean depths, but from the weight of the world. A functioning cable meant communication, a chance for diplomacy. A broken cable meant silence. And in the heart of the Cold War, silence could mean the end of everything. But the challenges weren't just technical. The men of the cable ships battled the raw fury of the Atlantic. They faced down brutal hurricane-force storms that tossed their ships like toys. And in the midst of this chaos, they had to perform what was essentially delicate surgery on a rolling, pitching deck. Lashed by wind and waves, they would splice and repair the cable, their fingers working with painstaking precision on the fragile copper core. Every connection had to be perfect. They were working in the most hostile environment on the planet, performing a task that demanded the steadiness of a surgeon's hand, all while the fate of global communication rested on their shoulders. It was a testament to their skill, their courage, and their sheer grit. And as if battling the ocean itself wasn't enough, they soon discovered they were not alone in the vast, empty expanse of the sea. The Soviet Union knew exactly what the Americans were doing. Soon, a new kind of threat appeared on the horizon: Soviet fishing trawlers. But these weren't ordinary fishing boats. They were bristling with antennas, packed with sophisticated listening devices, and crewed by intelligence officers. Their mission was twofold: to eavesdrop on the communications running through the cable and, if ordered, to sever it. These trawlers would shadow the American cable ships, playing a dangerous game of cat and mouse. They dragged grappling hooks, attempting to snag and break the vital line. The Cold War had gone deep sea. The cable men's mission evolved. They were no longer just engineers. They became defenders. Their new task was to protect the line at all costs. They had to outmaneuver the Soviet trawlers using their knowledge of the sea and their wits to keep the enemy at bay. It became a silent, underwater hunt. They would use sonar to track the Soviet vessels, anticipating their moves and positioning their own ships to block any attempt at sabotage. This wasn't a war of torpedoes and missiles. It was a war of strategy, patience, and nerves, fought in the lonely darkness of the deep ocean. The cable men were the guardians of this fragile connection, the invisible front line in a war nobody knew was being fought. Decades have passed since those tense days. The world has changed. The Cold War is a memory, and the copper wires that once carried hushed, urgent conversations between presidents have been replaced. Today, our world is woven together by something new: fiber optics. Countless strands of pure glass, thinner than a human hair, now lie on the ocean floor. They carry our light speed, digital world, our emails, our video calls, our financial markets, our entire online existence. Everything you're watching right now is traveling through these underwater networks. And where are these new cables laid? Right alongside the old ones. The network built by those Cold War pioneers remains the literal backbone of the global internet. The technology may have evolved from copper to glass, but the strategic importance of the ocean floor has only grown. The silent battle for control of these undersea networks has never been more critical. Nations now understand that whoever controls these cables controls the flow of information, the lifeblood of the modern world. The tactics have changed from grappling hooks to sophisticated submersibles and cyber attacks, but the game remains the same. The depths of the ocean are still a contested space, a hidden battlefield where the future of global power and connectivity is being decided. The legacy of the cablemen is not just a piece of history, it's the foundation of the world we live in today. So who were these men? They were the wire warriors. In total secrecy, they performed a miracle of engineering and courage that connected continents and, at a crucial moment, may have saved the world from itself. They wired the world, and the world never knew their names. Their story is a powerful reminder that the complex systems that hold our modern society together, the systems we rely on every single day, were often built by unseen hands in the darkest of depths against impossible odds. They are the forgotten architects of our connected age. Their legacy is all around us in every click, every message, every stream. It's a story of quiet heroism that deserves to be told. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the deep. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more hidden histories. Let us know in the comments what other secret stories you'd like us to uncover. Until next time, stay curious.